What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 30 of Light of the Azure, our attempts to stabilize the Great Vortex and hold off the forces of chaos. You know, saving the world, doing all the good stuff. Over the last few episodes, we've been stabilizing our claim on our island home. We still have a few random bits and pieces along the eastern coast that we should eventually deal with. Kothik and Yvresse have been quite bothersome to us, though we have Phoenix in a position where we could strike out at them in the not too distant future. He's kind of preventing them from coming in. And we have a Chaos faction and the Pirates of Sartosa trying to move in, while we have some random heroes running around. Now, our treasury is a little bit lower than normal. We've been doing a lot of build-up, and that's mostly due to the fact that we've had a fair number of generals go down underneath the weight of all the invading forces. Chaplain Grimaldus is assaulting one of the Dark Elves cities, Harkeldra, and we have Fadilace up in Grand holding a ritual site, which is definitely helping us out. We're only like 848 ritual items from doing our final ritual, the Ritual of Venerian himself. So that's not too bad, and we do have a couple of cities that we can upgrade, but we're trying to hold on to as much capital as we can for right now. And I'm moving back towards Lothern, because, well, we don't know what the enemy is going to do. Down south, the Lore Masters have been dealing with the Skaven pretty heavily. They're going to complete this ritual, probably. It's only one more turn until they're done it. Doesn't really affect us that much. We're a full ritual ahead, and Hexodal and the Druchii have not yet begun their fourth ritual, so we have a little bit of time until we have to push for the Ritual of the Defender. We do have a couple of settlements we could upgrade. Not too sure what we want to do there, because we're not at war with Kothik right now. I think we're actually trying to confederate with them over time. Might actually try that now. Okay, it looks like we have to wait a little bit more. Our reputation with them is steadily increasing. We'll be up to 273 in a couple of turns. I don't really need to upgrade any of the gates. At least not right now. And we have Latania guarding our west coast. I am a little bit out of it today, so can't remember exactly everything that's going on, but we have a lot going on. And we still have to worry about the Chaos forces coming in. That's the one major downside to controlling so much of Ulthuan. We do have a lot of ground that we have to cover, and any one of these sites can be a ritual site, so there is that. We're going to go through and look at all of our resource gold buildings, try and upgrade a few of them. I don't want to really go below 5,000 if we can help it. That should do it. Now, boost our economy a fair bit. Of course, we have our other little generals running around here. Eolair is one that we inherited. And Sunshine and Xinyan are holding those two cities. So let's see what the other factions are going to do, and we'll worry about that afterwards. It's kind of interesting that the Lore Masters have really strengthened the southern areas, but haven't completely obliterated all the Dark Elves and everything that are out there. We still have to worry about the Skaven, random Dark Elf factions, and some random Lizardmen tribes that haven't been confederated with Hexodal yet. Though I'm not too worried about them right now. The big thing that is on my mind right now is keeping ahead in the rituals and trying to keep what forces are invading Ulthuan at bay. If the Pirates of Sartosa end up taking a city, we'll have to take it back from them. We can't have humans taking any of the great elven cities on Ulthuan. And of course the Dark Elves do have their black arcs sailing around, but they've been less of a nuisance. And there's a skull reef right there. We might have to try and find a way to grab that, though I'm not really sure how we'd accomplish that without losing an army stack. Vile ratmen will complete their ritual. Not too great, but not something that we have to overtly worry about. Gotheek's kind of just hanging there. Yvresse is kind of attacking the pirates of Sartosa too. Southern Sentinels, we haven't really seen much out of them. I think they only have the one city. Ironically named the Southern Sentinels, so it's probably their only stronghold. We got a lot of free militia and crossbowmen in there, but it's mostly infantry. We could take that army stack on fairly easily. So if they end up attacking a city, taking it over, however they want to work it out, we can defeat them in open combat pretty easily. The Hmong have been a little bit of a threat, but not too much. Been more of an annoyance than a threat. Though I'd love to sack one of their cities, gain a little bit of golden experience out of it. Alright, so Elair. You know, we inherited you. You're not that great. Maybe we'll get you to sail over and head towards that Skull Reef. We'll risk a general that's not really part of our forces. Let's give Rana a speed of Azuran, because they never get mounts. And we'll hinder the replenishment. Or critically fail, as the case may be. We do have a mage down here. Belloline is something that we have. Oh, I don't want to steal technology right there. I want to get her up here. We could still upgrade them, but we're making 1206 per turn right now. It's not too great. I would love it if
command me.
These forces under Ingmir would go into Tor Yvresse. Their army stack there is fairly significant, but if we can siege them, it would be great. Shrine of Loic, the entire region is gaining a lot per turn. So if we can get Sunshine up to help Phoenix out, we might be able to take this fight on without too much trouble. We do kind of want to keep Phoenix regaining troops as much as possible, so there is that. And we have 2 more turns left on martial law, so that'll give us some more gold coming in, because our spearmen will cost less to upkeep. Lothern itself is pretty much set up. So as we work towards the next ritual source, or ritual itself, we have the sources. We just have to pay attention to what we're doing with it. It could be any of the cities that we control plus Lothern, so there is that. I think we'll upgrade that too. It does take us down to 2,600 gold, but I'm not too worried about it.
I serve the Phoenix King. Your request?
Only +5 with the forces that we have there, which is not great, but not terrible. Wonder what we could do up here. I mean, the good Chaplain, he's losing forces a little bit per turn. But 2 more turns and that place will be out of supplies and will be suffering. It's that black dragon that worries me. With our forces depleted slightly because of the cold climate, it could be bad. Now Ashrak, its garrison isn't too bad. It's a bunch of marauders with great weapons, horsemen with throwing axes. Can't see with that final piece under the stack. Oh, Chaos Warhounds with poison. But plus the trolls and everything they have on top, not a good thing to fight. It's much more defensive stack. How about the Great Arena? Same sort of idea, only less marauders with great axes, but they have a much larger army stack. A full army stack, in fact, on top of it. I'd rather engage them outside on the open plain. That'd be far, far easier. Guess it's going to be a lot of maintenance for the next little bit. And Erethrond, I completely forget about him every single episode. Still moving down south. And that gave us another 5 grand. That would have been helpful before the turn ended. And we do have Philandre over here. I did forget about our generals out at sea. That's my bad. Oops. And there's the Lore Master himself. I wonder if he's going after the Sentinel of Time. It would be helpful if the Lore Masters started hitting Clan Pestilence a little bit harder than they are. Be even better if we could get them to confederate and take control of their forces for ourselves, but I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. More importantly, it would give us a bunch of places down south that we'd have to worry about if the next ritual popped up immediately. We do have probably about 15 turns before the next ritual is done at this current rate. We're making about 50 ritual stones per turn. So, kind of a thing. What Nagaron's doing, though, is completely up in the air. Can't really say it's going to be good or bad. After Philandre does a little bit more down south, we might pop her in and try to take Vol's Anvil if we can. Though that would require reinforcing her a little bit. I'm willing to do that, but take a couple of turns, and then it'd be mostly spearmen and archers. You know, the citizen soldiers of Ulthuan. Another ritual site taken from the Druchii would be great, and of course us taking control of it would make our lives a little bit easier in that regard, so I think that's what we're going to do. We'll swing her around and start getting her some troops. Can't hurt our cause any. Oh, wow. That was unexpected. So Ingmir has decimated his own forces by taking on the Pirates of Sartosa. And now he's in March stance, and it's just him. And he's back in Tor Yvresse. If we can siege the city, we should be able to prevent him from doing anything too wild. We'll just have to hope Teclis is able to diminish Clan Pestilence a little bit. I'm surprised that the Sotek dwarves are still alive. They've been really holding on. As one of the things I love about the Mortal Empires campaign map is you get to see all the races interact. Leads to some really weird situations, I want to say. In that you'll have dwarves making pacts with vampire counts and that sort of thing, which would, in the lore, would never happen. Dwarves are ancestor worshippers and the vampires are undead, so it's basically a completely untenable position for them. Alright, so They Who Whisper has come up again. We don't want to hurt our treasury too much. Let's actually fire him. It's only going to cost us 8 influence, and we have plenty right now. And Philandre actually got
Princess.
her sea legs, which helps us out a little bit. So we'll swing out this way, grab this sea corpse, and then we'll send her back up to try and take Vol's Anvil. We may reinforce her with Iolar. Iolar. Sometimes elven names are hard to pronounce, but you're going to still beeline it towards that sea reef. Go down south to Erethrond. Does have one of our mages with them on the Doge, but I'm not too concerned about them getting back into the fight. We'll get him to grab this island here. Farsight, of course, and Banner of the Eternal Flame, which is awesome. Fire damage and 6% weapon damage for whatever unit it's put on. Be great on a Phoenix Guard unit. I think that takes care of everything that we got to do at sea. Let's check in on the good Chaplain really quickly.
For the king.
His forces aren't too badly mangled, and Harkeldra will be in pretty decent shape soon enough.
Marching out.
We don't want him in march stance, we want him in no stance, and we'll get him to siege Tor Yvresse. Get a couple of siege towers. I've been finding that siege towers are far, far more effective than the battering rams. I don't know what it is about them, but battering rams just seem to
Moving out.
not work as well. And even if they come out with this full army stack, I have faith that Phoenix's unit, given that it has a bunch of Phoenix Guard and Silver Helms, should be able to hold on, and our treasury is definitely going up. Mostly due to our forces at sea. So we can start looking towards upgrading a few more of our buildings, maybe even tossing an extra resource building or two down. Upgrade a port, because that helps our trade. Not too interested in upgrading settlements right now. We will in not too long. So it looks like we're going to be doing a fair bit of management this episode. I know I said that once already, but sometimes I kind of repeat things in my head. It'd be nice to know what the Vampire Coast is doing, but it's more of a threat to Teclis than it is to us. So we'll have a mage that moves, and that should be fine.
Thorium, protect me.
Might drop her into Phoenix's army stack to get a little bit of magical punch when we take on the Yvressians. If we take Tor Yvresse, that gives us that coast again and eliminates a warlike threat. Would not hurt us in the least. Alright, Rolinda, it'd be nice if you took on one of the Skaven cities and won. Just like that. At least chase the army stack away. But again, that is a lot of Great Eagles. And Teclis, are you going for the Sentinel's tongue? I really hope you are. Why are you encamping there? Lore Masters have a fair amount to do in their turns now. It's nice to see them being strong down south. Essentially, they've got the Skaven pinned in on 3 sides, while the Lizardmen, well, a tribe of Lizardmen anyway, has them pinned in on the 4th. Not really much the Skaven can do to get out of that situation. I don't really think there's any other Skaven tribes left, too, so eliminating Clan Pestilence kind of kicks them out of the running, all things considered. And the last defenders are at war with us, so keeping ahead of them with Erathron is probably a good idea. And it looks like we're getting into a full-on fight here. But there's no Black Dragon in that force, which is delightful. So we'll go on in. Our characters are wounded, but shouldn't be too rough. We do have some veteran, and we're talking gold veteran archers in this, even though their units are a little undersized right now. All we have to do is win this fight. Target their ranged units as best we can. We're going to gamble on 7. Get a bit more magical oomph. Doesn't look like a whole lot more, but more is more. Let's grab our spearmen. This looks like our best bet for holding them off, especially since our units are a little bit mangled. Put our Lothern Sea Guard down on this angle. Our forces seem so small by comparison, but they punch a lot harder for their weight than anything else. And of course, the good Chaplain's on a dragon, which does not hurt. So let's see how this is going to work out. And this is Senina, so she has a bunch of really nice spells to help us out. They do have a lot of archers, so I'm hesitant to send Chaplain out to start breathing on them just yet. It's definitely a fight that we cannot afford to lose, given the forces that we have involved.
Ithilmar chariots. What orders?
Pretty much as soon as they enter our archer's range is when I'll get our good chaplain to go in and deal some damage. It's going to take a while for them to get into Sanina's range.
Noble. Finish them.
We'll send PC off to deal with their archers.
Battle ready. Archers. Battle call.
Ulfwan Mage. Menlui! Araya Menlui!
Ithilmar chariots. Loven Seagard.
Swap you guys over to melee.
Asur, attack!
Make sure you reinforce the line.
Very well. Spearman.
For duty! Death to all!
Spearman. We will obey.
It will be done.
Kind of important that we win the initial thrust on the melee.
Ulfwan Mage. Scython, hear me!
PC wipe out that entire unit? I think he did.
Lothern Seagard!
Ever vigilant. Your will.
I accept. Efua, bend to my will!
I think we're gonna do okay in this.
Archers.
Forces are in pretty good position. As long as we can keep up the pressure.
Mage.
Should win this.
Asur Prince. Ithilmar chariots. Asur.
It's mostly stopping them from shooting us.
Illyrian archers.
If we can win the ranged war here, we win this battle.
Awaiting orders.
We probably will lose the Sea Guard here, but not really much we can do about that right now.
Kill them. Understood.
Doing my duty.
We'll use our mage to block their advance. Wow, their Black Art Corsairs really caused some havoc there.
At once. Orders understood.
Let's get you back into the air, Chaplain, and then we can get you to breathe on another unit.
Sir. Moving out. I never tire. Right away.
And then we'll get you to charge that self-same unit and hopefully hold them off.
The greater good.
Archers. Asur, attack! As you say.
It really is going to come down to our heroes holding the line while our archers pick off as many of their troops as they can.
Sinner. To war! Immediately! Noble! Asur, withdraw!
Mage. Going.
For duty! Understood! Loyal!
Okay, so we've routed a good number of their troops so far. We've had a few units pretty well crippled by everything. I'm gonna keep pouring arrows into these guys until they completely rout. There we go.
Setting forth!
And there we go. Still lost a lot of our troops, but it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, we deployed with less than half. Well, more than half, but about half. And we lost exactly half of our troops, and they lost a heck of a lot more. If we force
My
labor,
powers grow.
should be able to push Harkeldra itself. Not have to worry. Well, looks like they've got a fairly large stack under Skrolk there. I'm not too sure about this general, who I clicked off of by mistake. And Erlinda got completely screwed up. But that's what happens when your forces are overwhelmed. Those Great Eagles are awesome, and the dragons themselves, of course, are beautiful. But they can only do so much against that many rats. I'm kind of content to let Kothik, who owns Elysia, I was about to say Elysia, hold on to the northeastern edge of the island. They can be kind of a buffer. Don't necessarily need them. Though we did pick up an Ogre Blade last battle, so somebody's getting a new toy. With Yvresse under siege, I wonder if they'll sally forth, and it looks like they're going to. They don't really have anything too scary. White Lions look really scary, but you can beat them in even combat. And given that all of our archers in this unit are incredibly veteran, and we have some veteran Phoenix Guard, we should be okay. If we engage them according to our battle strategies and don't let them pull us out of position too badly. And that was a mistake. I thought we were getting ready to start deployment because I'm used to having mages in the group. So we'll have to rectify that, but it's not too big of a deal because, well, all of our forces are pretty mobile. And their forces have to come in from off-map. And that'll be the White Lions and everything that's coming in to harass us after a fashion. Phoenix is on a Great Eagle. I wonder if he can engage that before anything else happens. We'll get our archers set up in these lines here.
Guardian of order.
Phoenix does have some magical aptitude. Actually, we get our archers to help nail that lord. Should be able to break him at the very least before we get into real combat. It's a little bit of a waste of ammunition, but Ingmir kind of had it coming. Yvresse has been a pain in our side since the very start of the campaign. If we can get him out of here, wound him, whatever, not only does it give us a great advantage over the rest of the army that's coming in, it's kind of poetic justice. Alright, so with our archers getting out of range there, won't worry about it too much. We'll let Phoenix chase him a little bit, but we won't let him get completely pulled out into the range of their stuff. Alright. We don't want them pulling the same strategy that we just pulled, so we're going to pull you back, Phoenix.
Thorium guides us.
All of their archers are actually Lothern Sea Guard, so we just have to be able to beat them one-on-one, or 2-to-1. As soon as they enter our archery range, we'll try and pick them off one at a time. If we can shoot out their archers with ours, that would be more ideal.
Prince of Oakwood.
Phoenix, let's get you to recast that so you can hit as many of their troops as possible.
Archers! Moving out!
Definitely doesn't hurt. Let's pause real quick and get our Phoenix Guard to charge the White Lions on the front line. Those White Lions are going to get a unit of Spearmen. It's going to be tough no matter what we do. They have more units than we do, but we've disrupted them a fair bit. Kind of want to push this side of things more than anything else. And our Silver Helms are going to be kind of a counter charge as soon as their cavalry gets pulled out of position.
Kadai be praised! We advance!
For the Ever Queen! Shield! Very well.
Archers!
Essentially, this is going to come down to a shooting war, who can break whose shooting ability first. I think we're going to win that, given how veteran these archers are.
Battle!
And with the enemy lord wounded, it's a great bonus for us. Worried about those spearmen. They're under attack from a couple of units of White Lions.
Sail!
We'll be able to swing our archers over there to help them momentarily.
Asur attack! Archers!
Oh, dang. Looks like they got a unit of Silver Helms behind our lines. Which means our archers need to refocus on them and start shooting quickly before we lose a unit of archers. But their Silver Helms should,
Serve the king!
in theory, rout fairly quickly. They'll lose a lot of their soldiers to our shooting.
For Assyrian!
Following orders! To war!
Restoring order!
I never tire! For order!
Death to all!
Looks like our unit of Silver Helms in the woods kinda lost their fight.
For order!
Have to refocus from their archers onto the White Lions that are advancing.
Assyrian willing! Draw back!
We may actually end up losing this battle.
Pull back!
We've kind of routed them on the right flank, but
Without fail! Death to all! Asur, move! Yes!
Prince of
it's going to be tough either way.
Shield!
Understood! Asur, withdraw!
It's not ideal to have our Illyrian archers get into close combat with White Lions, especially since they get a bonus versus our cavalry.
Loyal!
But we have to try and outshoot them still.
Ever vigilant!
Draw back!
I will obey!
Archers! Oriole! Make Ulthuan proud!
With any luck, our Phoenix Guard in the center will be able to hold out. Though we may want to consider getting all of our good units as close to the edge of the map as possible so we can retreat from this.
Acknowledged! Attack! For order!
In fact, that's what I think we're gonna do. Let's try and get our units out of here. Unfortunately, our Phoenix Guard, along with everything else, is going to have to pretty much remain in place.
Spearmen! Archers!
Withdraw!
And defeat right there isn't ideal, but we did take down their lord and seriously hurt the garrison. So, with any luck, Phoenix will be able to recover some of his forces, and hopefully he won't have died in this retreat. I don't think we lost an entire... well, we lost a fair number of entire units.
Fall back!
And it does not look like Phoenix himself died. So we'll get them to rank up for a turn. Camp up, I guess. Then we'll drop some more spearmen into those armies and go back and fight it out. I want to be far enough away from Tor Yvresse so they can't reinforce if we have to fight on the field. But close enough that we're still very threatening to their capital. Defeats do happen, so you gotta take the bad with the good sometimes. I mean, the good Chaplain's doing some great work over in the west. We can't expect to be on a roll the entire time. Now it looks like Charon Kars performed the sacrifice to Mathlan, so we might have another Black Ark running around in the waters soon enough. I'd love to go down and fight some of those Bretonnians, but we don't really have the forces to spare on that right now. And I sincerely doubt that we can sue for peace with Yvresse, given all that's happened. Because we do need to start building our forces back up. We're starting to get the income again to be able to support it, and losing a couple of units of veteran Phoenix Guard will definitely not hurt our treasury, though it hurts our pride a little bit. Okay, I don't remember winning a second battle against the Dark Elves, but okay. And win 2 battles total. Okay, I guess that works. And now we've got a couple of things all done. We do have martial law, which is going to make our income a little bit better. We should definitely grab great weapons, because that helps all of our elite soldiers.
Prince of Ulthuan.
Phoenix, we're going to get you to
Preparing
camp. And we're going to drop at least another 4 spearman units in there to help you restock your forces. You did lose
Can I
all
offer
of your
assistance? Preparing camp.
nominal forces, your Phoenix Guard. And we'll grab another unit of Lothern Sea Guard with shields for Sunshine. That'll help there. Senina gained a level, and since she's already got Immortality and pretty much all of the good spells, I'm not really a big fan of Tempest. But we do definitely need to get Ward of Loic. So that'll help us out there.
Might prowess.
Fandir. Not really sure who he is, but we'll do the same thing on him. Ah, he's in
A promising lieutenant.
Adopted Army. We'll grab Earthblood for Latanius Enthal. Not really sure how you're supposed to pronounce that. Now, this settlement, it already took a major shot to its forces by trying to fight us. I was actually looking at Nagaron's garrison the last turn, so I kind of overestimated what they have. Though, Chaplain's forces are definitely down. What are the odds on this battle? We could try to fight it. We have the siege towers, and we definitely outshoot them now.
A strong leader is needed.
What are your forces looking like as far as their losses? They're estimated to have... how many next turn? Not sure. 37 next turn. 44. I don't really think it's worth it to wait a turn, so we'll probably get involved in that fight. But let's check our forces at sea first. Hopefully we can end this week on a high note. Felindra, let's grab that. And you did level up, which is good. We're going to give you Route Marcher, in fact. Give you a bit more versatility out at sea. We'll start getting you to head up towards Nagarond. Erethrond, you got to keep ahead of those lizard men. So let's swing you down and grab this mysterious island here. We're going to skip that one so we don't have to backtrack and possibly get engaged by those lizard men. And we still have our other adopted lord that's just south of Ulthuan. Was that another Skull Reef? I think it was. Out in the middle of the water. And that's actually closer to where he is right now.
Defender of the Phoenix throne.
So let's actually get you to come out to this island, and then we'll grab the Skull Reef, and then we'll head out. As far as our settlements go, it's still the Shrine of Loic, and all them, and the Griffin Gate, which we don't need to worry about. I think we're going to be okay there. But now comes the really tough part. We have to get into a fight up here with the good Chaplain. I don't want to lose any more elves to attrition, so this will pretty much do it for this week. But let's hopefully end it on a high note. And we built a bunch of siege towers. We'll have 4, which means we're not going to be using 2 of them. And our mage is hurt. Sanina's actually really hurt, so we're going to try and keep her out of the line of fire. And we'll start on 22. 22 is fine.
Archers! Understood! Understood! Without fail!
Group you guys up. And of course, our Illyrian Reavers are going to do some work.
Battle calls!
I think it's a melee chariot set. Well, melee chariot.
My power is
Pull
yours.
Sanina back a little bit.
We will obey!
Set you boys up right there so we can go either side of the gate.
Archers!
And we'll set our archers up to support you on the way in. And the good Chaplain and PC will go in at the very start. So let's just pause really quick now that we can see what the enemy's doing. You guys are going to go on that wall. You guys are going to go on that wall. PC, you're going to take them out. Chaplain, you're going to go breathe on those archers. Our archers are going to come in and shoot their other dark shards. Have those guys come in from that angle. And that should do just fine. We'll give Hand of Glory to Chaplain Grimaldus. Right now it's mostly about getting our forces to the walls, more than anything else.
Orion! Understood! Ever loyal! Illyrian archers! Loyal!
And it's looking pretty easy to take the walls here. Archers are doing a fine job of taking down their Black Ark Corsairs and their Dark Shards. Once we own the walls, our heroes can go in a little bit quicker.
Moving out. Ever vigilant.
It's amazing how strong a single dragon up on the walls can be.
It will be done. Forward. At them. Now.
The walls are pretty much ours, so let's get our lords going to do more important things.
I agree.
Deal with their forces behind the walls. You spearmen are going to take on them, and you'll take on them. They're routed, though. Let's get our archers up on the walls to start shooting down.
Noble.
In PC, we're going to pretty much pop all of your abilities all at once, get you go nuts.
What order? Very
And then Chaplain, you're going to come down like thunder from the sky.
One mage.
ready and eager. Restoring order.
And this is why I like flying on all of my heroes. While the Ithalmar chariots might be good for a lot of your nobles, I really prefer the Great Eagles because of the versatility it gives them. And there we go, we've won the battle. I don't want to lose any more of our troops. So, not a bad way to end overall. At least for this week. We lost 6 soldiers in that. Well done, Chaplain. Granted, a dragon and a giant eagle kind of make things easier.
The Asur have conquered. We are the
So we're
conquerors.
going to occupy it. Looks like you gained some points for when you're laying siege.
Phoenix Court.
Now, what can we give you that'll make you even tougher? We already got all of the baseline stuff. We haven't really been hit by too much magic. Let's give you a Wound Maker. That'll definitely help out. And now we can get all those forces re-upped. Can't really get you anything too neat for right now. We're going to give you some cavalry to max out the fact that you don't have much infantry, at least spearmen left. And we can definitely up the public order there, and I guess we can upgrade this city too, and then we can put a infantry. We can actually put an infantry barracks there, but we don't have the tanning camp. So yeah, we'll upgrade Har Caldra for next time, and throw some infantry in there to start reinforcing the good Chaplain. Then we might actually be able to take on Nagarond if we can get 2 full stacks ready to go to fight them. That's pretty much going to do it for this week, guys. So if you liked the video, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, possibly see your name pop up in one of these Let's Plays, or just to join our community, just hit that subscribe button, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes up. But remember guys, life is a game, so play to win, and until next time, take care.